Hi, my name is John McNamee, and this is the reflection to my last video, Lord, Don't You Care? As a quick recap, last time we covered Luke chapter 10, verses 38 through 42, and as a matter of fact, I'm just going to read that again in case we forgot. So this is at the home of Martha and Mary. As Jesus and his disciples were on their way, he came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him. She had a sister called Mary, who sat at the Lord's feet, listening to what he said. But Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. She came to him and asked, "Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do the work by myself? Tell her to help me." "Martha, Martha," the Lord answered, "you are worried and upset about many things, but few things are needed, or indeed only one. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her." So yeah, if you haven't seen the last video, I recommend that you go watch that first. But we're just going to dive right into conversation today, and I want to point out that during that recording I was checked on exactly what I was preaching. There's one point where, and obviously I cut this out of the video, but there's one point where I waited like a full 2 minutes to keep talking because I live next to a busy street, and so the street was noisy. There were people coming through my backyard, just family, doing their own thing, not trying to bother me or anything. Planes flying overhead, it's always the planes. But there were just a lot of things that were kind of tampering with what I thought the recording should be, or what it should sound like in the end. And speaking of, there's construction going on right now all around me. You can probably hear the crickets. But it's funny because I stopped for a full 2 minutes, and you can kind of see me like realize in that clip, because obviously it was still recorded, like me realizing that, if anything, it was probably like a test from God. It's funny, like mid-recording, I get tested with that because I look directly at the end of verse 40, right? Tell her to help me. And I was saying in that moment, not literally, but figuratively, tell my family to help me, tell the street to help me, tell the planes to help me. And it's like, if that's not the day that the Lord has made, then I don't want to try to rejoice in that. That's Psalm 118, verse 24. I just want to rejoice and be present in the day that the Lord has made. And if the day that I had planned wasn't what he had planned, then that's fine. And I've been learning that over these past few weeks. And I'm so grateful that I'm learning it when I am, because clearly I'm back at college now. I'm actually like a few feet away from the rock I usually sit on, but it's actually early in the morning right now. So the way the light is hitting is, caused me to be here today. But I am on another rock. I don't think you can see it in the shot, but I'm back on the rocks. So yeah, I'm just so grateful I'm learning this before coming back to college, because I came back just a few days ago and I'm already seeing like how I'm able to just recognize the distractions in my life and then also sit at the Lord's feet and listen to him speak like Mary. And as a reminder, those were the questions from last time. I asked, in what ways are you like Martha? And then what is one practical step you can take to become more like Mary? And so I realize I'm like Martha in a lot of ways, but the two that are standing out recently and that I think are worth sharing are with music and also with what other people think of me, which is actually, those two things are interesting because they're not what I would expect to be distracted by, and I think it's worth pointing out again that Martha was burdened with much serving, like it says in let me see, verse 40. Distracted by all the preparation, burdened by serving. Which is so interesting because, again, she's burdened by a good thing. And so with music, I've talked about this before, but there has been kind of an idol of productivity in my life. And thankfully over these past, almost this past year, it's been gradually taken down and diminished and diminished and diminished more and more and more. And recently I just find that like I'm outside of the timeline for the most part. And I've been loving that phrase, just out of the timeline, because I'm noticing with music, I am distracted, and sometimes I can get distracted by like what I want to happen in a certain session, whether I'm in a software or on an instrument. But I've realized in the past, and I realize more and more, that the best music comes when I take my hands off of it, because that's when my voice gets softer, God's voice gets louder, and He gives me the music that He wants the world to hear, which is not only better in message but in musicality itself. So yeah, I'll admit, as much as I can call myself a musician, all of my ideas come from God, and I hope to share them with you one day. And then also what other people think of me. So I am in a conservatory here, and I'm also just at a college. I feel like there's a lot of comparison that goes on just all throughout with literally anything. It's kind of it's unfortunate, but a lot of people here at the time in their life where they're trying to figure out who they are, and sometimes the way they do that is by comparing themselves to other people. And really, I think that reveals a yearning for us to compare ourselves to Jesus. But obviously not everyone knows Jesus just yet. But I know that I've been able to recognize all of this because I've been spending more time with Jesus. This topic has led me to more quiet time, much more reflection with God, where I just kind of sit back from all the things that are happening in my life. There's an ant on the camera. That I don't want to get in the way of the shot. Okay, I think I got it. Well, it's on my hand now. Yeah, as I was saying, as I've been spending more time with Jesus in this quiet time and reflection, I've been able to recognize things from kind of like a spectator point of view. And that's been really cool because, yeah, I'm just seeing things, I'm just noticing things that I didn't know before. And it's all because, it's clearly because I'm sitting at the Lord's feet and listening to Him speak. And part of that's helped me to get to that place is listening to music, pretty much the first, few minutes of my quiet time. Which I guess maybe isn't necessarily quiet, but I listen to music that helps me to be in that place. Some songs have been Selah by Forrest Frank. Oh, you might have just seen the ant right now. That's funny. I guess he's still there. I have no idea how. But, oh my gosh, get out of here, dude. I'm gonna put you right there. Don't go back, please. But yeah. There we go. Here it is, the test again, but I'm getting better at it, and actually finding joy and laughter in this, so praise God. But I've been listening to Selah by Forrest Frank and Slow Down Please by Josiah Queen. Slow Down Please actually came out last Friday as I'm recording this, which is probably going to be a week ago from the day you're seeing it, if you're seeing it the day it's uploaded. That was a lot of words, but I'm going to upload this on a Friday, and Mount Zion, the album, came out last Friday. But and Selah wasn't released too long ago either. It was can't remember how many weeks ago, but those have been helping me a lot, especially the lyrics like in Selah, it ain't all about what you sing, it's the moments in between. I love that, especially as a musician. That hits very close to home. And then in Slow Down Please, I could be wrong about this, but I think this song is about Luke 10 verses 38 through 42. Like, the main hook is God speaking to us, and He's saying, all the things you do for me are good and sweet, but slow down, please. And then something along the lines of there's no better place to be than at my feet. And it's so good. It helps me to get into that chill, quiet mood where I can just literally listen to the Lord and shut out everything else that's distracting me in my life. But all that being said, there still have been some struggles with me just trying to live day by day. I've been doing that more and more, thankfully. But at the same time, again, this idol of productivity sometimes creeping back in, I'll try to cram many days into one day. So, I'm living day by day, but I'm kind of not. And in that way, I'm kind of saying, today's Tuesday as I'm recording this, so I'm saying, tell Wednesday to help me, tell Thursday to help me, tell Friday to help me. Because I'm trying to cram so much of what God has planned out over the course of my life, just in one day. And it can get and that could produce a lot of just anxiety and confusion. And I think one of the most noticeable consequences of that has been my sleep schedule. I think it's been very messed up recently because I'll stay up late trying to get stuff done, but really that stuff was never meant to get done today. And so it's just an interesting perspective, now again, being more conscious of this and sitting at the Lord's feet. A verse that really stands out to me is the end of verse 42, where it says that Mary has chosen what is better, sitting at the Lord's feet and listening to him speak, and it will not be taken away from her. And really, I think that's kind of uprooted the idea that I have in my mind, where it's like, I try to do Wednesday on Tuesday because part of me thinks that Wednesday is going to be taken away from me, if that makes sense. Like, the future is going to be taken away from me if I don't do it today. And I know that this is foolish thinking, because if my future's in God's hands, which it is because he's an all-powerful God, then I don't have to worry about it. Then it's going to happen in his timing, but only if I just sit at his feet and listen to him speak. And I know that I can rest assured that the future will be here when it's time. And really, that phrase rest assured is very literal here, because I can go to sleep earlier knowing that things are happening and will continue to happen in God's timing. And so not only can I go to sleep earlier, but I can go to sleep, I can go to rest assured. I can go to rest assured that the future's going to happen, that everything that needs to happen now is happening now, everything that's not happening now is not supposed to happen now, and things are fine. Which then also means that I can wake up earlier and probably get more done, because I know that everything that's happening today is supposed to happen today. It's just like a ripple effect. It's a chain reaction. That's really cool. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to cover today. For me, so far on this reflection, I encourage you again to dive into this passage yourself and read it multiple times. I've been reading this a lot, and it's really been helping me. Just with my outlook on life overall and all the little details that entails. So yeah, also go listen to those songs, Say Aloud by Forrest Frank and Slow Down Please by Josiah Queen. I will listen to them, but I'll list them in the description as well, so you can get there easily. But yeah, as this construction happens all around me, I know it's also happening within me, and I hope it's happening within you too, as you yield to God's demolition and rebuilding of your life and of your soul, of your heart. So yeah, I'll see you next time for a new topic, and I hope you have a great week. See ya. Oh yeah, I'm even wearing the same shirt as last week. Or maybe it's just been a really long day.